Welcome back, familiar to Northside LDN, Caramba. And today we've got Arsenal turning their attention to try and get the Feyenoord Mexican 23-year-old striker Santiago Jimenez as Arsenal lose out to Sesko as he re-signs a new contract at RB Leipzig. Make sure, family, you're liking and subscribing, hitting the bell notification, all that good stuff. Não sejam filho da puta, não sejam viado all your life. And we're going to get straight into it. It looks like Arsenal are looking at the £40 million striker Santiago Jimenez for Feyenoord. He scored 23 goals in 30 appearances in the league and had 6 assists. And listen, he's been highly sought after. We keep getting linked after him. Xerxes looks like he's going to AC Milan, and it looks like Sesko signed a new contract at RB Leipzig. So Arsenal are now looking elsewhere for a new striker. And it looks like it's this guy, Santiago Jimenez, who has been previously linked with Arsenal. Let's get straight into the article. This says Arsenal scouting Santiago Jimenez among other targets. Bologna talisman. Joshua Xerxes is one name said to be on Arsenal's radar following a superb 2023-24 campaign in the Serie A, netting 11 times in 34 league games to fire the Italian side into next season's Champions League for the first time in the club's history. According to the Evening Standard, Xerxes is one of several forwards that the Gunners have scouted along with Feyenoord's Santiago Jimenez. The 23-year-old joined Feyenoord from Mexican outfit Cruz Azul in July 2022 and has since established himself as one of the most prolific strikers in the Dutch football, scoring 49 goals in 86 appearances across all competitions. Jimenez netted 23 times in 50 matches during his first season at the Dutch club and followed that up with 26 strikes in 41 games in 2023-24, including 23 goals in 30 Eredivisie matches. Then it goes on to say Jimenez to leave Feyenoord this summer. Jimenez is under contract at Feyenoord until June 2027, but it's believed that the striker will leave the club during this summer's transfer window amid interest from a number of top European teams. The Mexican international is valued between 30 to 40 million pounds by Feyenoord, who are desperate to keep hold of as many of their star players as possible following the departure of head coach Arne Slot to Liverpool. However, earlier this year, Jimenez hinted at a possible future transfer away from the club, telling Marca, "Starting off my journey in Europe here at Feyenoord has been a success. The club has had success as they have gotten the most out of me, and I know that they want to see me grow so they can sell me at the highest possible price." That is the reality that clubs like Feyenoord live off that. There is the path, and I am very calm in that aspect. It's previously reported that Arsenal are in the front of the queue to sign Jimenez, although they face competition from North London rivals Tottenham, as well as Man United, West Ham, Juventus, and Atletico Madrid. Now, you already know when it comes to these players, their agents are always going to say, you know, multiple clubs are in for my client, multiple clubs are looking at Jimenez. That's all to just make everybody, the very few teams, or the one team that actually is showing the interest, to act fast and act now in fear of losing out, because nobody wants to lose out. That's what they try to bank on. Now, Jimenez, he hasn't actually done too bad this season. He really hasn't done too bad. 23 goals in 30 appearances, I think is very good. But at the same time, is he going to be able to transition from the Dutch league to the Premier League? The Dutch league isn't as strong as the Portuguese league, and some players in the Portuguese league have struggled in La Liga. They've struggled coming to the Premier League. Darwin Núñez. So is he going to be able to transition from the Dutch league all the way to the strongest league in the world? I'm not convinced, and this is why I think there's better options that we could go for. Now, if this guy is so highly sought after, why was we looking at Sesko? But to be fair, when the club was looking at Sesko and Xerxes, Jimenez has actually scored more goals. Sesko and Xerxes, I think they only scored 13, 14 goals in their league campaign. He's scored 23 goals in 30 appearances in the league alone. So he's definitely doing very well. He definitely looks like he's outgrowing the Eredivisie. Is he ready to come to the Premier League? Come already to a club that's supposed to be now getting over the line and winning the Champions League, winning the Premier League? I don't think that this guy is ready yet. I don't think this guy is ready yet. And I think a lot of times people look at the numbers they're putting up in that league. Oh, they'll definitely do it in the Premier League. Nah. They're coming up against faster, stronger defenders and better players all round in terms of what the Premier League has to offer. Is he going to be able to adapt? Very few can adapt. Let's keep it real. More players flop than done. I could understand more Arsenal getting a Jimenez over a Xerxes or a Xerxes or a Sesko, because he's done decently, but still, does that translate into the Premier League? I'm not too sure it will. And at the end of the day, we need to get the players that are going to get us over the line. Right now, the best option is not a Jimenez that is smashing it in the Dutch league, but it's Isaac that is already doing it in the Premier League. That you don't have this thing that you may need to give him a year or two to adapt to the Premier League. You're going to question, can he do it in the Premier League? Isak is already doing it in the Premier League. Ivan Toney's been doing it in the Premier League. These are strikers for me that are ahead of somebody like Jimenez because they're already showing that in the Premier League level, they're able to perform and they're able to score goals. This guy, it's up in the air. It's up in the air whether he's going to be able to replicate his form at Feyenoord in the Premier League. Is he going to be able to be a game changer? Because we need somebody that's going to be a game changer now. We need somebody that's going to be able to get us over the line now. And I don't feel like this guy's going to be able to get us over the line right now, which is why I don't want us going for Santiago Jimenez. If we get an Isak, and we sell Nketiah and Jesus, well, I would sell Nketiah and Havertz first. If we sell Nketiah and Havertz and we bring in Jimenez and we get an Isak, then all of a sudden I'm not so annoyed by that. Because I'm like, okay, we got Isak, who is a player that can deliver now, that is ready for the now, and can score goals now. And then number two is Santiago Jimenez, that has done well in the Dutch league. And you may be able to replicate that, but we're not relying on him and banking everything on him being able to perform. They'll be willing to sell him at 30, 40 million pounds. That's not going to break the bank. You sell an Nketiah, you sell Havertz. Even Nketiah, selling Nketiah, we're said to be trying to sell Nketiah for 30 million pounds. You sell Nketiah for 30 million pounds. That already pays for Santiago Jimenez. Obviously, there's Dubovnik as well at Girona. But like I said, I don't mind getting a player like this, like a Jimenez that's actually smashing it, or a Gyökeres that's smashing it in Portugal, as long as we also get somebody that is already ready for now. Because there's no guarantee that Gyökeres is ready for now, and there's no guarantee that Jimenez is ready for now. But if we got already an Isak or we got an Ivan Toney, we know that they can deliver right now. And then if Jimenez delivers, then all of a sudden, happy days. Obviously, Jimenez is not going to break the bank, so I don't feel like it's a crazy transfer. But I don't want it to be the only one. Like I said, if Jimenez comes in alongside somebody, if we sell some players and we use that money to get Jimenez, and then we go and use a big portion of our transfer budget to go and get an established striker, I'm not really complaining. I would be like, okay, I understand it. I understand it. You're trying to mix smart business with business that is able to get us over the line right now. I would actually be like, okay, I can understand that. I can get the logic behind that. I can get it. Because then you've got Isak, then you've got Jimenez that can rotate and see if he can actually work his way into becoming the number one. Then you've got Jesus as a third choice. I'm not too angry at that. So Listen, that is the type of smart business I want to see from the club. It's not that every single time I want Arsenal to buy players 100 million, 200 million, whatever. But if we're gonna make decisions, let's make smart decisions. Let's make smart decisions at the end of the day. And I don't think getting only a Jimenez and relying on him to be able to adapt and hit the ground running like that, I don't think that's the smart decision. There's been a lot of players before that just underwhelmed. Werner came to this league underwhelmed. Shevchenko came to this league underwhelmed. Falcao come to this league and underwhelmed. Yet he was smashing it for Atletico. He was smashing it in the Portuguese league. So there's been loads of players that have come to this league and flopped. Do you know what I mean? Michu was a one-season wanderer. There's been loads of players like that. So listen, sometimes I can listen. He's scoring 23 goals is nothing for me to scoff at, but at the same time, it's in the Dutch league. It is in the Dutch league. I don't want to see us just going for this kind of striker and then it's job done. I'm sorry. Getting Jimenez will not be a difference maker in Arsenal winning the Premier League or the Champions League, in my opinion. So, listen, I haven't watched a lot of this guy. We have been linked to him before. I've seen 1 or 2 clips, not enough to say if, that he's a baller or anything else like that. I'd rather watch actual full 90-minute games of a player to actually be like, yeah, that he's an amazing player. But I don't know that of Jimenez. But at the same time, we need players that are going to get us over the line now. Arteta has to deliver a major honor this season, and I'm sorry, I don't see Jimenez being the solution to that. We are also linked to a goalkeeper, as Ramsdale. It seems that Ramsdale is certain to leave Arsenal. Arsenal handed transfer boost as £63 million release clause confirmed for Chelsea target. Arsenal are monitoring the situation of Porto's Diogo Costa ahead of a potential summer move. Costa has been one of the most standout goalkeepers in Europe over the last couple of years and was impressive in the Champions League against the Gunners during the 2023-24 season. The 24-year-old remarkably conceded just 38 goals and 45 appearances across all competitions, keeping 17 clean sheets. Despite this, Porto could be forced to sell Diogo Costa this summer. Portuguese newspaper O Jogo have reported that the Dragons may need to make a big sale and Costa is a serious candidate to leave the club. It's claimed Costa has attracted interest from Arsenal, Chelsea and Man City, with those three keeping an eye and scouting him recently over a possible swoop in the summer transfer window. Even though Porto need to cash in on Costa, they are not going to allow him to leave on the cheap. Costa is protected by a £75 million release clause, which is £63 million, and his contract and the Portuguese club will only let him go for something close to that figure, which would put him amongst the most expensive goalkeepers of all time, alongside Kepa, Alisson, and Onana. Costa came through the youth system at Porto, promoted. Okay, yeah. I'll just tell you right now, Diogo Costa is not worth. He is not worth 63 million pounds. I'm sorry, but Portuguese clubs are very good in terms of selling a lot of their talent abroad for high fees. I don't think he's worth 63 million pounds. I don't think he's a world-class goalkeeper. I think he's a very, very good goalkeeper. I think he's very, very good. He does well for the Portuguese Seleção. He does well for Porto, but he's not world-class. And for that kind of fee and to become one of the most expensive goalkeepers after really not doing anything to deserve that, let's be real. What has he actually done to be labelled as, a world-class goalkeeper? He hasn't. He's 24 years old. He's still a young goalkeeper. Still a very good goalkeeper. I'm not knocking Diogo Costa. I think he's a very capable goalkeeper, but to command 63 million pounds, nah, I wouldn't be buying him for that. I think, listen, if we're spending that kind of money, we might as well go for a world-class goalkeeper. And there's better goalkeepers out there, or black goalkeepers like that we could go out there and get. So I think for me, 63 million pounds for for Diogo Costa. Yeah, I think that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. He's nowhere near. He's not worth that valuation. He's probably max worth 35 million. You know what I mean? 35, 40 million, maybe plus add-ons. That's max 63. And even then, I'm stretching it. You know what I mean? So I just like, nah. I just don't understand it. Is he a massive upgrade as well on the goalkeepers that we have right now? I wouldn't say he's a massive upgrade. I don't think he's a massive upgrade on Raya, in my personal opinion. I don't think he's a massive upgrade. I'd struggle to say that he is really an upgrade. I'd say they're roughly around the same level. And it's like, why are we buying another player that is not established for big money? We did it with Kai Havertz. Why are we spending big money on, why would we? I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. Why would spend 63 million pounds on Diogo Costa like he's the only great goalkeeper that's out there? For that price range, you can get a lot better in terms of world-class goalkeepers. So I think hopefully it's absolutely mapucaria, because if we go out there and spend this kind of money, that is just completely crazy. Completely crazy. We're struggling to get 30 million pounds for Aaron Ramsdale. You know what I mean? And it's like, what? Then we're going to add another 30-odd, 40-odd million to get another goalkeeper. Is he going to be number one? Because Arteta seems like he's set on. It seems like he's set on. What's his name? It's Raya being number one goalkeeper. So it's all just confusing. Listen, a lot of these news. Don't falar porcaria. We already know the don't falar porcaria, don't falar merda. We already know what the game plan is. We already know what they're doing. But at the end of the day, it's being reported. We're talking about it. I don't think Arsenal were struggling to flip and play Sesko's release clause of 55 million. Why are they going to go spend 63 million pounds on a goalkeeper when the main thing that we need is a striker, and we weren't even able to get the main target that the club wanted, which was Sesko, and he had a release clause of 55 million pounds. But we're going to spend more than Sesko's release clause for a goalkeeper that more than likely is going to be a backup. Make that crap make sense, because to me that ain't making no sense. But there you go. Make sure you're liking and subscribing, familia. Make sure you're hitting the bell notification, all that good stuff. And without further ado, I'm out. Love.